Good morning and good afternoon everyone. My name is Muhammad Irfan. Today I will discussing the application of common law in Malaysia and responding to the proposal made by two Chief Justice to Malaysianize our legal system. To begin, Malaysian legal system is a unique blend of common law, Islamic law and customary law. This reflects our nation's diverse cultural and religious heritage. The common law system inherited from British colonial rule formed the backbone of our judiciary, particularly in civil and criminal matters. However, over the time, the application of common law in Malaysia has evolved to incorporate elements of Islamic law, Sharia law and Malaysia custom, especially in matters involving personal and family law for Muslims. The article we are discussing highlight the view of two former Chief Justice, Tun Ahmad Fairuz Sheikh Abdul Halim and Tun Abdul Hamid Omar. Both have advocated for a Malaysianized common law system. They argue that Malaysia should reduce its reliance on English common law and instead ground its legal framework in Islamic principle and to a lesser extent Malaysian custom. This proposal is rooted in the belief that our legal system should be better reflect Malaysian identity as a pluralistic society. The objective of this presentation is twofold. First, I will explore how common law is applied in Malaysia today. Second, I will evaluate the merits and challenge of the proposal put forward by the former Chief Justice. By examining the historical context, current practice and potential implication of such reform, we can better understand the complexities of adapting a colonial legal legacy to the needs of a modern multicultural society. So, with that, let's dive into the first part of our discussion, historical context of common law in Malaysia.
Thank you. Now let's move on to the historical context of common law in Malaysia and its role in shaping our legal system. First, introduction of English common law during British colonization. Malaysia's legal history is rooted in British colonization, which began in the 19th century with the establishment of the state settlement Penang, Malacca and Singapore. The British introduced English common law as statute to govern this territory. Over time, these legal principles were extended to the other Malay states under British influence. The introduction of common law was intended to standardize the administration of justice in areas such as contract, commercial dispute and criminal law. However, it's important to note that local custom, including adat, Malay custom, and Islamic law, were allowed to continue governing family, marriage, and inheritance matters among Malay and other local communities. Second is retention of common law post-independence under the Civil Law Act 1956. When Malaysia gained independence in 1957, the newly formed government decided to retain the English common law system for its practicality and consistency. This decision was formalized through the Civil Law Act 1956, particularly Section 3 and Section 5, which allowed the application of English common law and rules of equity in Malaysian code, provided there were no written Malaysian law on the matter of the English law suited local circumstances. For example, in commercial cases, court often rely on precedents for English law, as Malaysia's own commercial law is heavily influenced by English statute like the Sales of Goods 1893 and the Partnership Act 1819. The statute will either adopt wholesale or adapt into Malaysian legislation. Third is role of common law in shaping Malaysia's legal framework. The English common law formed the backbone of Malaysia's legal framework, particularly in areas like contract law, torts, trust, and commercial law. Many judicial decisions in Malaysia still cite English precedent to resolve disputes, demonstrating the enduring influence. However, the reliance of English common law has been put in contention. Prominent figures, including former Chief Justice like Tun Ahmad Fairuz Sheikh Abdul Halim and Tun Abdul Hamid Omar, have argued it is time for Malaysia to develop its own common law system, reflecting our local values, Islamic principles, and adat. While this shift would significantly a step to more Malaysia-sized legal identity, it also raises some challenges such as ensuring legal certainty, maintaining investor confidence, and avoiding fragmentation in the law. So in conclusion, the English common law was introduced during colonization, retaining post-independence through the Civil Law Act 1956 and continued to play a crucial role in Malaysia's framework. However, debates about its relevance in a pluralistic society like ours highlight on the ongoing need to balance legal uniformity with local values. Thank you. Now let's move on to the next person.
Assalamualaikum and good day to everyone. My name is Adam Harid bin Ahmad Zaki and I will be presenting the response and recommendations regarding the article Time to Malaysianize Common Law System. This article addresses a crucial issue that profoundly aligns with our nation's legal identity. As Malaysia progresses, it is imperative that our legal system evolves in tandem. While the common law inherited from a colonial past has served us well, it is now essential to adapt it to better reflect our unique cultural, religious, and social values. First and foremost, we must recognize the necessity of localizing the common law system. Although the common law provides a robust foundation of fairness and justice, it was not originally designed with Malaysia's diverse communities in mind. By Malaysianizing the common law, we can ensure that our legal system becomes more relevant and accessible to all Malaysians. This does not entail discarding the common law entirely, but rather refining it to align with our local values and needs. A balanced approach is crucial since Malaysia is a multiracial and multi-religious nation, and our legal system must reflect this diversity. One way to achieve this is by thoughtfully integrating Islamic principles and Malay customs into the common law framework. For instance, Islamic concepts of justice, equity, and compassion can complement the common law's emphasis on precedent and fairness. Similarly, Malay customs or adat, which emphasize community harmony and mutual respect, can enrich our legal system. However, this integration must be carried out carefully to ensure that the core principles of justice and equality are preserved. To support this transformation, we must strengthen local legal education and judicial precedents. Our law schools should have greater emphasis on Malaysian legal history, Islamic jurisprudence, and the custom of our various communities. By doing so, we can produce lawyers and judges who are not only well versed in the common law but also deeply understand the local context. Additionally, our judiciary should develop a robust body of local precedents that reflect Malaysian values. This will help create a legal system that is both globally respected and locally relevant. Finally, any reform must ensure inclusivity and respect for Malaysia's diverse communities. Our legal system must serve as a unifying force, not a divisive one. This means respecting the rights and traditions of all ethnic and religious groups, including the indigenous people of Sabah and Sarawak. By fostering a legal system that is inclusive and respectful, we can strengthen national unity and ensure that justice is truly accessible to all. Now, in conclusion, Malaysianizing the common law system is not about rejecting our past, but also about building a future that reflects who we are as a nation. By adopting a balanced approach, strengthening local education, and ensuring inclusivity, we can create a legal system that is fair, just, and uniquely Malaysian. Let us seize this opportunity to shape a legal framework that serves all Malaysians and stand as a model for the world. That will be all from me. Thank you.
A very good day to everyone. My name is Akia, and today I'll be analysing the proposals by the former Chief Justices Tun Ahmad Fairuz and Tun Abdul Hamid Omar to reform Malaysia's common law system. Their cause is to Malaysianize the legal framework by incorporating Islamic principles and Malay customs is so bold and thought-provoking. However, these proposals come with significant challenges that needs careful consideration. Now, let's first start with Tun Ahmad Fairuz's proposal. He argued that Malaysia's common law should be rooted in Islamic principles and Malay customs, and his rationale was that Malaysia is a Muslim majority nation with a rich cultural heritage, and its legal system should reflect that identity. For example, Islamic principles are already influencing family law for Muslims, while Malay customs like adat, shape, land, and inheritance practices are applicable in rural areas. So Tun Ahmad Fairuz believed that incorporating these elements into the common law system would make the legal system even more relevant and relatable to nations. However, this proposal raises concerns, especially because Malaysia is a pluralistic society with diverse ethnic and religious communities. So, non-Muslims and non-Malays may feel marginalized if the legal system is perceived as overly influenced by Islamic principles and Malay customs. This could undermine national unity and the principle of equality before the law. Right. So next we would take a look at Tun Abdul Hamid's proposal. He emphasized the need to reduce reliance on English common law and develop a uniquely Malaysian legal framework. His vision was to create a system that reflects Malaysia's unique social, cultural and religious context. So Tun Abdul Hamid Omar believed that a localized version of the common law system would allow judges greater flexibility to address local issues without being constrained by foreign precedents. This would foster national pride and legal independence, moving away from the colonial era laws. However, this approach also poses challenges where the common law system is valued for its predictability and consistency, which are essential for economic stability and public confidence. Reforms must ensure that these qualities are preserved. Additionally, Malaysia's legal system must remain compatible with international standards, especially areas like in trade, human rights, especially regarding things to facilitate global engagement. Now, what these both proposals highlight the need for a legal system that reflects Malaysia's identity, but implementing them is easy to say, but it is not without challenges. Like first, we need to balance pluralism because Malaysia has a diverse population with many cultures and religions, right? And each have their own legal traditions. So any reform must protect the rights of all communities, especially to maintain social harmony. Second is to ensure legal certainty because the common law system once again is valued for its predictability, tapi is also crucial for economic stability and public confidence. So reforms must not undermine this legal certainty, right? So finally is to maintain international compatibility. So Malaysia's legal system must remain aligned with global standards, just like now I mentioned about regarding human rights, so that it facilitates international engagement. So to sum this up regarding the proposal, it is a very ambitious and well-intentioned proposal which aims to create a legal system that reflects Malaysia's unique identity. However, they must be approached with caution and address the challenges of pluralism, legal certainty and international compatibility. A balanced and inclusive approach is essential to ensure that the legal system remains fair, just and representative of all Malaysians. Thank you.
Good evening everyone, my name is Muhammad Adam Dedebi Ahmad Najib and I will talk about how common law is applied in Malaysia and its connection with other legal systems. First and foremost, areas where common law is applied. Common law is important in Malaysia, especially in contract law, tort law and commercial law. These areas deal with agreements, harm and business matters. In contract law, rules about agreement come from English common law. For example, the case of Kali Kabuli Small explains the basics of offer, acceptance and intention to form an agreement. Malaysian courts like in Guthrie Waf Berhad against Mali pada Mutu Cemaru use these rules to ensure fairness in contracts. In tort law, negligent principles also come from English common law. The case of Donald Stevenson established the neighbour principle, which says most people must avoid harming others. This principle was applied in Malaysian case of Dr. Abdul Hamid Abdul Rashid against Dr. S. Jayatilak, a case on medical negligence. For commercial law, common law guides company management, partnerships and financial issues. Case like Tan Cheng Hock against Chai Buan are used in Malaysia to clarify duties of shareholders and directors. These rules help business follow fair and practice and make Malaysia a trusted place for trading. Next is interaction with Islamic law and Malay customary law. Malaysia's legal system combines common law, Islamic law also known as Sharia, Malay customary law also known as Adat. These reflect countries' diversity. Islamic law applies to personal matters like marriage, divorce, inheritance and religious duties. For example, Latifah Mat Zain's against Rosmawati Sharibun dealt with how Islamic law governs property inheritance when civil law overlaps. Malaysia's dual court system respects Islamic principles alongside general laws. Adat preserves traditions, especially for indigenous groups in areas like land inheritance and property rights. In Non-Yawai against Borneo Plug Plantation, the court upheld native right to customary land. This shows how Malaysia respects its tradition while balancing modern law. Combining this system is challenging, but it helps Malaysia create a fair legal framework. Last but not least, criticism of over-reliance on English common law. While common law brings benefits, relying too much on it has its problems. One issue is that common law principles come from English culture and may not fit Malaysian diversity. For example, in case of PP against Dato' Harun bin Haji Idris, the court faced difficulties when using English ideas for a local case with political cultural issues. This shows how foreign principles can sometimes create problems. Another concern is that relying on common law slows the development of Malaysian laws. While Malaysia has made progress, there is still more to do. For instances, applying Islamic principles in Islamic finance shows Malaysia can innovate while respecting its values. Last but not least, using English legal ideas without adapting them to local needs can also cause inconsistencies. Creating home grounds laws will help Malaysia better address its society's needs. To sum up, English common law plays a big role in Malaysia, especially in contract, tort and commercial law. At the same time, Malaysia has combined common law with Islamic and adat to reflect its unique culture. Moving forward, Malaysia should reduce its reliance on English law by developing its own legal system that fits its diverse society. That's all from me. Thank you. I'll pass the floor to the next person.
In conclusion, adapting the common law to the unique Malaysian context is essential for a legal system that reflects our national identity. While English common law has been a solid foundation, it's time to Malaysianize it by truthfully integrating Islamic principle, Malaysian custom and local value. However, this reform must be inclusive, respectful of Malaysian diverse society and must balance local relevance with a legal certainty and international compatibility. In doing so, we can create a just, equitable and uniquely Malaysian legal system that works for all and stands as a model for the world.